There we go. So I will start talking about the midfield. So if you can kind of look at the bond stuff, I'll talk about some things to say this one about how Aspley might.
Can't argue, but alright.
I knew what you meant, yeah, so, but I like the way your brain went straight to counter argue, that's good. So,
no problem.
And then from there, probably the most logical place to go is how once you've won the ball, connecting with the half forward line.
Yep.
And I think, the likes of Tara and that, we know they're stars, but why are they stars? Let's talk about what they bring as opposed to, oh yeah, they're really good. So,
and that's during game play.
During game play, but also just beforehand. So I might say, like, okay, so if Bond wins the ball out of the centre, if they can connect with their half forward line, what are we likely to see from the half forward line? So you might talk about things, and I'll just be very gentle.
Yeah.
But obviously, Havana is a tall target.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed with someone like Tara is that her ability to be unpredictable, change the angle of attack, get distance, those kinds of things. I've forgotten the third.
I guess, I mean, if you just guide me, I'm sure I'll be able to ask me some questions, I'll be able to answer, I'll be able to counter.
So, and if you don't know the answer to the question, you're allowed to wonder about sort of, well, that's a good question means I haven't worked out my answer yet, basically. So, one thing I don't have up there is the lineup, so you probably know this already.
Yes.
Good. And then with Aspley.
Katatas, that's it.
So you've got the same rhythm as potatoes. Katatas.
Yes, I do. I'll have the lineup.
Yes, so that's not a brag, that's just saying this is so cool, like it's
to be a part of it.
Well, I see people each week, I think they're wonderful. It's like, how can I, can I join? You can write. Cool, I'll do that. So,
exactly.
So I am...
It feels good to be back. I haven't been at the canal in a while.
Oh, sure, okay. So just with studying and everything?
Yeah, I work 3 jobs, so it, 3 jobs, a law degree, it's nuts. So it's definitely... Football was, when I said I had to get rid of something, football was the first thing that had to go. But now the assessments kind of over, I just come back. Plus, I probably wouldn't say I would be in the team anyway. They've got a really good lineup of coming.
Only you know your ability, so it's watching the toss of the coin, so it's Courtney and Paris out there. Paris goes to the point, and she's going to be attacking her own bench.
What were those 5 words?
So we got that one.
No, she's going towards her bench.
Oh, attacking her own bench. I see, yes.
So, as in the bench that has Paris Lightfoot written on it.
Yes,
so,
I see now. I thought you meant the bench as in that.
That was a completely logical thing to think. So, that may just get weird.
And I'm assuming we're never muted.
Okay. During the quarter time breaks, so at the end of, I'll do, and I think I said on there, just a really quick out from the break. I won't throw to you and go, right, summarise that quarter now. We take quarter time or 3/4 time to think about it and summarise it. But what will happen is I'll stop talking, Connor will come over here and turn down our mics, and these will be off, but that will be on. And so, no swearing, talk shop. So, welcome to Bond University Oval in Robina. It's a sunny day, a little bit cold with a bit of wind chill factor, but this is round 13 of the Bond University QAFLW for this match between second-placed Bond University and third-placed Aspley. A finals preview, even a grand final preview, we don't know, but it's fun to speculate. What we can guarantee you is some high-quality football this afternoon between 2 sides who are having excellent seasons. My name is Daniel Giles. It's a great pleasure to be with you today. And joining me in commentary today from the Bond University world, if you will, she's a former men's team manager and a former reserve grade player here for the Bull Sharks, Ms. Stevie Olorenshaw. Stevie, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, everyone.
It's going to be a wonderful game. Obviously, you've been around Bond for a while,
Yes.
so I'll ask you to talk more about them. But the matchups we're going to see today, high-quality sides. Of course, if you want to use a high-quality side, you've got to win the ball first. And inside the midfield, there's a fair bit of class that is used to just getting their hands on the ball. Tell me about them.
Yeah, so our inside mids, Courtney Sexton and Ava Usher, are probably our two strongest at the moment. We've got our height coming in the middle as well with Havana Harris. And then looking into the forwards, you've got your Lily Tarlentons. Who else is in the forward at the moment?
Jasmine's in the ruck and she'll switch forward, but also Bella Ivarak.
Bella Ivarak, yes, she's got a very good grab. The girls work really well as a team, something they've been working really hard at training. So it'll be really interesting to see how they match up against Aspley today.
And of course, Bella had a wonderful game at St Lucia the other week. I think kicked 2 goals and just gave an overhead marking clinic that day. I'll just let you know what Aspley have to counter that. Firstly, we all know about Michaela Martin, who probably had the most possessions on the in the whole comp last year, and yet still didn't get a single vote in the Emma Silke medal.
Wow.
Also, Lucia Liesi, number 12, is just running in front of camera now, carrying not 1 but 2 footballs, which is an indicator of what may happen during the day. And but thirdly, number 45, Hannah Giles, has come down this year from Mackay City Saints. She may be the X factor winning the ball and coming up against Courtney Sexton. Courtney we all know about. She's been around for a few whiles. Please tell me a bit more about Ava Usher and what she's like in terms of, first of all, winning the ball and then using the ball.
Yeah, so she's probably one of our youngest players, but that's nothing to be worried about. She's really good around the ball. She's quick. She's agile. She's got good endurance. So it'll be really interesting to see how she plays today. She's just come back from her son's academy stint. So,
as most of the team have, is the first inside 50 through to Havana Harris. We know she's got a long boot. Square this time. Aspley weathered the storm as Kawa goes to Giles. Overhead to Danietz. McCabe has about 7 tackles so far. Not all of them have landed. On to Sexton straight away, but she did enough to cause the turnover. This came out of the middle via McMullen, one of 3 Australian players in this competition, one for the other side in Crozier. Over the head, just fell in front of Harris. Aspley trying to get a string of passes together, not always working. Vanderweel did well. Back to Davidson, coming the other way to Harris. Harris thumping it forward inside 50. Good work from Tarlenton overhead. Still held up. Harrington out to Ivarak. Ivarak trying to get away from Thompson. Can't. The disposal, not highly effective. Harrington gets it through to Tarlenton. Tarlenton, hat-trick against Southport last game. Narrow angle. That was close.
Lily's accuracy is usually pretty good, so interesting to see that one, but she's very quick on her feet. So she also just played in the Queensland team in Tassie, so congratulations to them for their good win. I'm sure she played very well.
I happened to watch that game, and yeah, she's a remarkable forward presence.
She is. She's a very powerful player.
As Thompson just manages to clear the targets, get it to the 50, cleared by Lanigan. Through the hands, Tyson. Tyson fumbles, but has a lot of gelato-coloured jerseys around her. Martin looking for support. The tackling was fierce from Davidson. She was never exactly Paul before, but Davidson's having a wonderful year.
She is. It's very good to see the development that she's had last year when we played together. She's just getting better and better by the week.
Stevie Olorenshaw claims responsibility as Daniels goes inside 50, looking for the targets, just dropped up front. Out wide, Brennan. Brennan on the ground, bumping off her opposite number in Bisher. Hits the deck, ball up in a handy position for the Hornets.
Interesting positioning from everybody. It seems that they're all quite close to the stoppage, but you've got a couple on the outside there.
There's not much on this side of the field, is there?
No.
There's a half clearance. Fell in between Daniels and Vanderveer. Good work from Hutton, who may have been pulled off. Daniels goes back inside. Giles. Giles is off target. Not deliberate. Ball up in a handy... thrown in a handy position.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see that players aren't too locked on at this current point. They're kind of spread around the 50, which is interesting.
Yeah, more zonal than player on player, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. But they seem to be moving in, which is good. They're aware.
Tab lurking. Could have got it over the back. Davidson. Through is Martin. Martin goes for the snap. It'll be out on the full. Bond with an opportunity to clear.
Yes, I have... do we have Bishop kicking out? Oh, it's Paris kicking out at the moment, I think.
Yeah, she usually pulls rank early, and then if she wants to push up a bit forward, then she'll distribute. No.
She'll distribute, yep, so I think that's Kiara Bishop.
Yep, no,
Yes.
Paris just leading by example and fetching the ball. Hugging the boundary line, found McCabe.
That was a good hit, definitely a good hit.
Wind's not always reliable here at Bond. Of course, it's called the Canal because we're right next to it. Harris, that's the overhead marking the fans come to see. Harris over the top, finding Usher. Over the head of Pengelly. Usher going for the forward run. Tarleton's got front position. Excellent work back from Lingard. Lingard may save this. She won't. Tarleton walks in.
That was a really good play there. I mean, bit of a fumble from Ava Usher, but quick to pick it up, quick to fix it, and works in their favour.
Well,
really talented on the end.
Sorry for talking over you. That was one movement from the back pocket to the goal, really. It was, I'm going to guess, maybe 4 passes down the left-hand side.
Something they work pretty hard at training is definitely feeding it from back to the forward line and vice versa. So good to see it in play.
It's been a bit of a Bond tradition that my co-commentators like Jeff Newman and Chrissy Ind and I have picked up over the last few years. Bond, they really do use the width of the field. It's, different teams will try to get it back into the corridor early. Bond are happy to keep it wide until they're well into the 50. Is that something that, actually we've got a bit of a gap. Is that something that's emphasised at training? Is sort of a game plan to keep it, really use the width?
Definitely, focusing on those 45s and using every player. So we definitely do a lot of full ground drills. And obviously, again, we implement it pretty well, so it's good to see.
13-point lead early is Davidson. Sexton thumps it inside 50. Marking from Thompson, dropped over the back. Harrington charging through. Steps right, steps left, finds space, finds a goal. It's an early onslaught from the Bull Sharks.
Yeah, Tara Harrington, she's one to watch. She's definitely got some skills. She's pretty magical out there, so...
Can I say something controversial? Mm-hmm. In the big round 1 win that Bond had over Maroochydore, I know all the plaudits went to Havana Harris, but I thought Tara Harrington was better.
Yes. I actually was absent in round 1, so I'm going to take your word for it. But I think they offer different strengths. I mean, obviously Havana's quite tall. Tara's probably a little bit closer to the ground, so I mean they work well as a team too, which is great to see.
And I still don't know which foot is Tara's natural foot because she kicks. I'm guessing she's right-footed, but there's nothing wrong with her left.
Yes, no, she's definitely very versatile.
As Davidson dominating in the rucks early. Crashing through the other way was Vanderweel, not able to come up with it. Flicked forward. That was from Johnson. Ended up with Davidson. Davidson goes back inside 50. 2-on-1. Della and Harris. Harris immediately besieged and had the ball ripped from her by Liesi. Very physically strong player, Lucia Liesi, saves the day then.
Yeah, Aspley definitely put on a good body, good defensive play, so...
Curvin gets her first ruck win in a while, goes to Harrington, couldn't get the clearance. Martin at the back, knocked from her hands, gets on to Taylor straight away. On the deck, Johnson out of traffic, going towards Ivarak. It's a 2-on-2, Thompson using her body. The slip, they just need one more pair of hands. Came from Harrington. She had 3 Hornets around her. Lanigan able to clear outside 50. Only as far as Landwehr. Landwehr to put it straight back in. Finds Della wide. She loves that pocket, Gabby Della.
She does indeed. Definitely good to see Aspley got a lot of numbers flooding that 50. Something they're very good at is getting it out of their defensive back. So it'll be a challenge definitely as the game continues. But we seem to be doing well at the moment.
Aspley's been brilliant this year, except for first quarters. They've had a number of poor ones. Gabby Della, just to the right. In fact, I think Gabby Della likes the right forward pocket better at that end than she does at the right-hand end for some reason.
Yeah, she's interesting. She has her preferences. She's usually got a pretty good kick on her.
Is there someone who photographs her from the clubhouse and that's why she does it at that end?
Probably.
As Thompson clears. Several sets of hands. Ivorak was the last to touch it. Hit the deck. Seems to be behind. That might be Duretz on the ground. No, it was Vanderweel. Off the side of the boot from Sally Evans. Kicked away to Danietz. Danietz looking for a counter. Over the head of Brennan. Getting behind Lightfoot. Doesn't have anything further forward of her, though. Plays a bit of volleyball up. Brennan gets space. And then besieged. The brilliant tackle. The tackle came from McMullen. Paris overturned. Tab towards goal. Just needs a tap through. Did it come from Kawa? Maddie Kawa scores.
Yeah, it was. There was no one real deep in that play, so Aspley did really well at getting to the ball before Bond in that moment. So.
I mean, the tackle from McMullen was wonderful, and I think she and Lightfoot, I don't think they considered the play over, but I do think they maybe were sort of a bit, well, if I say they were slow to their feet, it's because they were on the ground. They'd just been tackling someone. But yeah, I was, the way Aspley took advantage of that, not every team can do that. Yeah,
no, they're definitely smart when it comes to their footy, and they know what play to make and when to make it, which is good to see. A lot of teams lack probably that skill.
So one thing Aspley haven't done when they've been hammered in the first quarter this season is score as early as the 10th minute. They've done it here. Jasmine Davidson says, I'm going to put it right. I'm going to win every ruck inside. Went back to Lendrum, however. Handball's out of the middle. Martin. Back to the goal scorer in Kawa. Kawa looking inside 50. It's to a contest. Inside from Stallard. Tyson. Space for Crozier. Crozier.
Yeah, definitely good at finding that option and using the first option, which is always the best option, as Andy loves to say. So Aspley did really well there at finding each other and obviously worked in their favour. Nice goal.
2 hits early. Runya Crozier, who of course played with Sienna McMullen at Marvel Stadium a few weeks ago, has a habit of, get her on the right foot, very hard to stop. Just to backtrack to something you said, is that an Andy Lovellism? Is it first option's the best option?
Yes, he definitely harps on that, taking that first option as well as the wingman support. So those are probably the 2 things we focus on a lot at training as well. But yeah, first option's always the best option. I don't know if I completely agree, but...
It means decision making though. In the match at Aspley between these two sides back in May, the score at quarter time was Aspley 4-0-24, Bond 3-0-18. We've only had 2 behinds kicked in the first quarter. Stallard turns. Tyson going back out towards Stallard. Hutton putting pressure on. Hutton's done well. Back inside. Stallard handball to no one. Landwehr turns it into soccer. She clears 50. Interesting call. Some umpires would call it deliberate, but I'm happy that this is just a throw-in.
Yeah, I think it keeps the game going with a throw-in, keeps it interesting. So
in fact, I was wrong. I missed the umpire's call, and it has been called deliberate.
Has been called deliberate.
So
that'll work in their favour anyway.
That's it. Liesi back inside, 50 from the back. Crozier flew off too many hands to be a mark to anyone. Davidson provides the link. She will go wide, cleared by Hutton. Hutton looking. Oh, Lanigan just drops it in flight, which I suppose is what normally happens when you drop a ball. It's usually in flight.
Usually.
Yes.
It's not usually on the floor. Oh, yeah. Sometimes it is, depending on the kick.
Yeah, let's move on and stop compounding my error. Lendrum inside, found Liesi. Liesi always has a good thump on her. Found Crozier. Good attack from the back by Davidson. Crozier doesn't drop much under pressure. She did that time from the back. That's absolutely lovely from Lingard.
Their positioning's unreal at the moment, Aspley's.
Mark was better than the kick, but it was good enough. Kawa. Martin providing the link. Strong work on the ground from Landwehr. Contact below the knees, and Landwehr has earned the free. Brave play rewarded.
A lot of space here. Ava's in a really good position.
Finds Usher. Not much space forward. Ivorak's just on the lead. Has a run behind her.
Aspley've got good numbers. Good defensive pressure too.
Yeah, most women's teams, well, most teams in the QAFLW have realised that you really need to run back and forth. There's no point just being a forward who doesn't track back or a defender who doesn't push up.
Yes.
McCabe through the middle towards Harrington. She did well within a nest of Hornets. Lingard under pressure from McCabe. McCabe's been insane in this first quarter so far. She's had a wonderful time of it as Harrington and McCabe pull Martin to the ground.
Yes, another stoppage. Yeah, Josie McCabe's been really good today. Good to see her back in action after her son's academy stint.
Through to McCabe. McCabe goes inside 50. Beautiful. That
Lovely
was Della,
grab.
just outside 50. Ivorex gone forward. Usher's in space. Didn't see her. Goes the other way because Sexton was in even more space and Hutton in more space again.
It was probably a good decision to take on the middle. She's in a good position for the kick.
She's got a very good long pass on her, Georgia Hutton, but sometimes it doesn't translate into a good goal kick. She should just pretend she's passing to someone on 100 Game Hill. Georgia Hutton looks great off the boot. The umpire arches the back. Georgia Hutton's on the board.
That was a lovely goal. Lovely goal. Good response from Aspley's two quick ones just then.
Neither side willing to let the opposition get on top of them for any length of time whatsoever.
Another player to watch today is Nyali Milne. She's back from her long injury, so it'll be interesting to see how she goes today, but I have no doubt in her capabilities.
Well, she was another one who impressed in round one. Hasn't had much of an opportunity since for Bond. She's been mostly off playing rep footy, as you say. I'll just go through the umpires, brought to you by Bradnam's Windows and Doors. In the field, we have Jack Pledge and Molly Jennings. On the boundary, Amanda Kuhn and Tex Mickelson. And in goal, Liam Kelly and Jason Bly. All have had a fair bit of work to do, although probably the boundary umpires have had the least, and that's just a reflection on the game as Sexton goes inside 50. Running back is Lanigan. Pushed off it by Usher legally. Got the right part of the body. Back inside to the feet of Harris. Harris couldn't get full purchase on it. Goes to the pocket. Pengilly is able to shepherd it out behind Davidson.
Yeah, something Ava's pretty good at is a 2-on-1. She often will win those due to her second efforts, third efforts, and her strength. So that was good play from Ava Usher. Number 18.
6 goals in this quarter already, and we had 7 in the first quarter in the corresponding match at Aspley. No ruck winner on that occasion. Pengilly. Chaos ball on the floor. Finally comes out to Liesi. That's her left. That's her weaker foot. It still went about 25 metres. Lendrum working hard on the ground. Just kicked the ball away legally. Usher comes up with it. Had it dispossessed out of sight. Taylor got enough of a handball back inside to Tarleton. Hornets have the numbers, but not the ball. They wrap up Georgia Johnson. Johnson got out of it. That hasn't gone 15. No mark. Off Tyson's knees. Tries to get out from Milne in the blue headgear. Skillful play to go sideways. That was Usher again. Usher looking for space. She's found some behind Milne. The shot is low. Over everyone. Minor score.
It's interesting to see that they're flooding in the middle in that contest. There's not a lot of numbers on the outside. Probably something to consider in the coming quarters. But it's definitely a good competition. Very physical out there.
Well, I think Bond is making sure that Aspley have to defend in the middle because they're just moving the ball so quickly. They were able to win outside of numbers. Taylor, beautiful step, showing the kids how it's done. Taylor inside. That's overhead. That's wonderful.
If there's something you can count on Jazzy, it's taking a big mark.
Takes the shot quickly. Perfectly. 5 goals in the first quarter. Not something that happens all that often in the Bond University QAFLW. And even more rarely when it's second versus third.
Yeah, that was definitely a very well executed play.
I made a point in my write-up this week, which you can find on the AFLQ website, that a lot of attention gets paid to the academy girls, but yesterday's academy girls, women, that's middle-aged men shouldn't call them girls, but yeah, Jasmine Davidson, Lily Tarleton went through the academy system. Didn't get drafted, that's by the by. But they are tearing up the QAFLW, and it is just a wonder to see them each week. It's wonderful here.
Yeah, I think Lily Tarleton's confidence has just exceeded tremendously in the last year, couple of seasons. So she's playing probably some of her best footy that I would have seen. So she's in a good position, showing the young ones how it's done.
Andy Lovell said that she trained like an absolute Trojan during the pre-season. Again, pressure on the disposals. Sexton will go inside 50. Harrington takes the mark. That was a short 15, but whatever. Harris in way too much space. Not her best kick. Doesn't matter. 6 goals in the first quarter for Bond University. It's an onslaught at the Canal.
Yeah, definitely. Aspley will have to give a good response to those couple of quick goals. But, confident in their ability to come back, so can never be too confident in the score.
Spoken like someone who's been coached by Andy Lovell.
Yes, yes.
And possibly Luke Mansbridge, but before, who was always someone who, if you got too far ahead of yourself, there was hell to pay, I imagine.
Yes, we definitely take the approach of every quarter starts at 0. So Andy's big on that one.
Something even when I played junior footy back in 19, that there, if every time there was a new set of play, someone would call out 0-all, as if to say, prepare like you did at the start of the game.
I think that's the mentality to have. I guess, you can never be too confident. Anything can happen in a game of football.
Giles out of the middle. She is starting to win some of that ball. Danietz, a little bit check side, found space. Air swing from defence. Wasn't able to pick up who it was. Might have been McMullen. Underneath the target, Aspley centre it, and a settling mark taken by Johnson, who's probably having her best season in the QAFLW.
Yes, I would agree. Again, comes back to the confidence. New coaching staff as well, new dynamic in the team. So I think everyone's playing some pretty good footy, including number 9, Bella Iverack. Definitely a good season for her too.
Iverack thumps it from about 48, looking for Davidson. Just able to get a fist to it, so it'll be a ball up in a good position. Not long left in this quarter, 43 seconds, that's enough.
Yeah, it's interesting to see they've pushed up a fair bit. The Bond backmen have pulled up the Aspley forwards, so there's no one deep, so interesting to see if it turns around.
For Bond, they don't necessarily need another goal, but there is a ruthlessness to this side.
Another one would be nice, though.
Greedy. Inside, Duretz. Oh, that's come goal side. Davidson's just gone in towards the pocket. It'll drop in front of Iverack and then spin away from her. Iverack gets first to it. Lanigan's able to bring her to ground, and that may be enough with 6 seconds remaining. This would need a sort of a Daniel Wells, Jackie Chan effort to get through.
Yeah, it would be a quick play. So there we go.
Quarter time. It's been an extraordinary first quarter at the Canal. High quality. Bond University 6-3-39. Lead Aspley 2-0-12. This is round 13 of the Bond University QAFLW, live from Bond University Oval at Robina. Killings. Absolutely killings. The moment I knew you'd be fine is when I was looking here and you started talking about the forward line pushing out here to 50. I thought she's on it.
I read the little blow.
Yeah, perfect.
I feel like I've definitely, because I've watched enough footy to have a good idea. I mean, we live, eat, sleep, breathe.
Well, you're preaching to the choir now. You've demonstrated what you're now selling to. So
Very, very fun.
in my backpack to your right, there should be a water bottle on the side. May I please ask for this? That's all. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't. I mean, is there anything you would like me to change? I mean, you're doing pretty well at naming everyone, so I'm just kind of coming in with some comments, I think.
There's a couple. I've been late on Sienna and Gemma a couple of times because I've been late to see whether it's 7 or 9. I'll be better when they're here and their backs to me more often. So,
You've got big names too. A lot of syllables in there.
look, there are, but again, I work and I pride myself on that. So, I certainly can't do what they're doing out there right now. So, I mean, maybe I can catch a ball with my belly better than they can, but don't be.
In terms of recapping the quarter,
Oh, good. Yes.
I would say Bond probably had the upper hand in the quarter, but that Aspley's defense was good at times. Aspley's numbers are impeccable. They're always first the ball, I would say, but Bond do very well at being reactive.
Good. Definitely something about Christine. David's dominating.
Yes, definitely.
And even when they don't get the immediate clearance, there's pressure on every possession.
Yeah, I would say Bond's second effort's pretty, a very, very prominent.
Anything I say now, you can present as your own work when we go to air as well. This is all for you having to. If you want, so this huddle here, that's the Aspley defensive huddle.
Yeah.
The coach is, she's now actually Williamson, she was actually Hales. 130 games
Wow.
with QAFLW, sort of that far away from our coach, somebody, and she hasn't really retired. It's just she looked at the back line and thought, well, I'm not in the best 5, so I'll be assistant coach for the defensive line. So,
Sometimes you go.
school teacher, she's been with me at the top box before as well. I think the world of her.
ability to move talent to enjoy playing ball.
It's funny, you certainly, I mean, I'm, in terms of how I interact with myself, it's generally nuts.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. That's both worlds.
that's, yeah. So on stage, it's like, oh, no, I know what I'm doing. So, usually when the teams go to the game, like the football starts at 15 minutes.
That's when we start.
That's when we start. So, we're ready, Colin. Yeah.
No worries.
Oh, didn't mean to rush you, but
No, it's all good.
it's been Entertainment City here at Bond University Oval at Robina. Bond Uni 6-3-39 lead Aspley 2-0-12 in this round 13 second versus third clash in the Bond University QAFLW. 2 goals to Havana Harris, singles to Lily Tarleton, Tara Harrington, Georgia Hutton and Jasmine Davidson. Aspley had a real purple patch in the middle of that quarter with goals to Maddie Kawa and Rania Crozier. My name is Daniel Viles. With me is Stevie Olorenshaw from Bond University, former men's manager, former reserve grader, current genius. Stevie,
Yes.
let me know how you saw that quarter, because I mean Bond dominated, but why did they dominate?
I think they're just really good with the ball. Their second and third efforts are amazing. You know, they're looking for that first option and they're hitting targets, which is good to see. But if they're not hitting the target, they're picking up the ball and moving forward. You know, Aspley have a great defence. There was a lot of numbers flooding the contest from them, but Bond are pretty reactive. They're good at navigating issues. We don't really crumble under pressure, which is good to see. But definitely a physical quarter, a quick quarter. So it'll be interesting to see how this one goes.
Both teams looked better in the forward 50 when there was very quick ball movement. We saw Bond often outnumbered in their attack versus defence, but they were able to move it quickly. Likewise, when Aspley had that period, it was usually when they were getting the handballs to teammates and the players off the ball were running into space when they looked most dangerous.
Yes, I would agree. I think, everyone did well at kind of, moving in and out and coming into the 50 and navigating where to go, particularly where there was a lot of stoppages and it was on the floor a lot. So it was good to see them coming into contests.
We're about to restart, but when we get a gap, I'd like you to talk about the Andy Lovell method of teaching off-the-ball movements and sort of being the next player to receive the ball. But we're underway as Jack Pledge will begin the second quarter here at Bond University Oval. Bond will be thinking 0-0. Aspley will be thinking we've got work to do, but they will not be daunted. They will not be overawed.
Oh, sorry.
You're right, out wide to Martin. Martin tried the bounce just ahead of Taylor. Knocking it forward, getting it forward by any means possible. Swept at the back by Landwehr. Landed on the ground hard, stayed in. Crozier, Kawa. Kawa looking forward in the 50. Boundary throw in, sorry.
No, it's just interesting to see everyone's kind of pushed to one side of the field, and no one's coming out on this far wing closest to the benches. So everyone's in a good position, I'd say. Not too deep from Bond. We've got everyone pushed up, so they have a little bit of work to do, and if it turns around.
I suppose the question will be, if there's a turnover of possession, do they start to come wide? There is a turnover of possession. Davidson keeps it in front of the grandstands. Good effort at a one-handed mark from Emma Pittman. Comes inside Harrington. Classy work from Harrington. She plays the 45 inside, and the hit-up comes from Usher. Handball inside to Sexton. Sexton, those dinky kicks she does inside 50. Pengelly with the punch. Didn't go as far away from the attack as she wanted. Hutton. Ivorak. Ivorak has a lot of time and space. Hit the top of the shoe, and that'll land in the lap of Lingard.
Yeah, again, see, no one was too deep in that position. Didn't really work in their favour, but definitely a good 45 choice from Tara moments ago. Good play.
Came across the face of goal to Pengelly. Just got there ahead of Ivorak. A little bit of danger. Averted. Over the back of Hutton and Vanderweel. Tyson tracking back. Inside, into the path of Vanderweel. Swept by Landwehr. Landwehr looking inside, outside. Eventually found, I think it was McMullen. Through to Tyson. Tyson will clear. Lands in no woman's land. Good work by Brennan. The handball came over the back. Lendrum putting pressure on. Crozier putting pressure on Lightfoot. Came away the winner until Blair said, no, you're coming with me. Brennan got a head over the ball in between three Bull Sharks. Landed for Crozier. Van der Weel outside of the boot. Daniet's getting to it ahead of Sexton. That is the key midfield battle today. Behind Martin, Liesi. Liesi looking for a player, didn't have one, then found three. Tyson picked up in the middle of the contest by McCabe. McCabe throws up a moon ball, lands at a crater. Curvin through the middle. That may have been touched. Lands on the ground anyway. Landwehr chasing. Good work from Stallard. Stallard, another Queensland rep, thought she came away with it. Ended up being with Landwehr. Fast passage of play. Hasn't let up for about 45 seconds as Stallard gives a nice big bear hug to Grace Moody.
It's interesting to note that Aspley have a lot of loose players at the moment, particularly in the middle, which is very dangerous.
One of them, Daniet's, just got a bit of separation from McCabe. Martin in the middle. Stolen by Landwehr. That was a land grab. See what I did there? Sorry.
Good one.
Hashtag, see what I did there. I can speak youth.
Fitting in perfectly.
I'm a dad, don't see me. So, Bond getting it forward of the contest, cleaned up by Pittman, another one who went to Hobart last week. Back across the centre square. Cleaned by McMullen. Oh, look at the turn of pace. Fantastic work. Knew when to kick it because she had a full 15. Ivarak just had a bit of pressure on behind her from Thompson. Pittman used to play for the Brisbane Roar, was able to hack it out. Taylor, good pressure from Kawa. Danietz and Kawa, equal best and fairest for Aspley last year, combined to get it out to Martin, who was best and fairest from Maroochydore. Stallard ducks inside, gets some space inside, thought she had a run from Crozier, wasn't quite there. McMullen's able to bring proceedings to a close. Aspley one handball away from connecting.
They've definitely come out firing this quarter. Big pick up from last quarter, which is great to see.
Second quarters haven't been a problem for Aspley this year. It's starting them when you're not 30 points behind or so. I've exaggerated, but you get the idea. Back to Curvin. Curvin couldn't get enough space to get a decent kick away. Spun away. Nearly landed with Brennan. The defensive work from Lightfoot is there. Maybe a bit of kicking in danger. That is the calmness of Paris Lightfoot in defence. Doesn't matter how much pressure she's under, she will never look panicky. Kawa has it on the 50. Inside to Curvin. Towards, attacked by Moody. Ran over the top of it. Three Hornets. None could pick it up. In the end, it was Davidson and then Sexton who cleared. Outside 50, turns, Lingard volleyballs it back inside. Liesi thought she had it, didn't. Through to Kawa. Martin chips over the defence, off target, out in the full.
An interesting player coming on, Ella Collegian, number 8, just arrived on the field. Another one to watch. Young girl, but phenomenal skills, takes a great grab up above her head, so it's interesting to see.
Good overhead, and if her stats this year are telling the truth, and I've got no reason to believe they're not, enters inside 50 at will. Just any time she's 70 to 80 from goal, looks for the space inside 50, gets it there. Sexton. A rare off-target kick for Sexton, boundary throw-in.
What do we got? We got, again, loose numbers from Aspley, particularly in Bonds forward. Gabby Della, number 14, is coming on, though. Hopefully cleans that up. Everyone's quite close to the stoppage now, too. Probably would benefit from some space.
Bit of a breeze here today. This, of course, is one of only 3 grounds that faced east-west in this competition, so we're watching from the northern side of the ground as Bond are able to clear it towards the grandstand. Good attacking of the ball from Pittman, got there ahead of Harrington. She's obviously realised that you don't let Harrington get the ball first. Crozier thought she was around Moody, and maybe for the want of half a metre she was.
Moody's an interesting recruitment from Bond too. She's new to the club, but one of the captains in the team, highly respected and phenomenal skills.
I think I first saw her play in 2020, where amongst other things, she played in the grand final here for Coolangatta when they lost to Yeronga's super team, who knocked out Bond University here the previous week. It was a fascinating season, the COVID-affected season.
Yes, it was, and yeah, she's definitely a good recruit for Bond, as well as Charlotte Taylor.
Now, players down hasn't come up. I'm just unable to identify at the moment, but we have been asked for assistance. Actually, all players are back up. Oh, we have a blood rule, so Lucia Liesi is coming up to have her face sewn up.
Didn't quite see what happened. Maybe a small knock.
Yeah, there was certainly nothing aggressive in the play in terms of violence.
Yes, no, probably just one of those things that occurs.
But Giles and Vett are coming on for Liesi. Katasis coming on as well. So everyone with the jersey beginning in 4 for Aspley is now on the field.
again, Bond. Oh, a bit windy at the moment.
Yeah, it has picked up. There's probably a bit of crackling in the microphone. For that, we apologise. But pushing off the ball, Jack Pledge has picked up on it. Bond University have a chance to clear through Usher. She goes wide in leaning with the Bond philosophy. Harrington got herself into space, made it look easy. Found Kalaja. Kalaja delays the handball, got inside to Harris. Harris, not her biggest thump, but big enough. Thompson got in front of the contest, did well. The handball comes back, pickpocketed by Thompson. Wonderful double effort from her. Katatis knocks it forward. Copped one in the back from Usher. Legal. Harrington finds Taylor. Taylor from a fair way out, looking for Davidson in the pocket, and got it under big pressure from Lingard.
Another player that just entered the field, Sally Evans, number 12. She's just come back from an unfortunate ACL injury that took her out for the whole year last year, but she's in pristine form. Fit as she's probably ever been, so her footy's been
Davidson
amazing.
set shot on the way, no mistake. That's her second goal, both in similar circumstances.
Yeah, she's definitely killing it out there at the moment.
So that's taken, I think we're into the 9th minute of this quarter. Because we're very generous here on the official AFLQ channel, we give you more information about the time than we keep for ourselves. We're nice. We are nice people here.
Definitely.
Yes. I had to check how nice you were before I brought you into the combox.
Hopefully I pass the test.
Again, very fluid play from Bond. Began on the left. Harrington's ability to separate from her opponent, get the mark on the left, and then from there was a bit, probably the amount of pressure from Aspley on each contest wasn't as much as Luke Blackham would like.
Yes, no, I think Bond do really well at finding those options, and just again, like coming back to football knowledge in general, Tara Harrington does a great job at knowing when to go, when to kick, and where to kick, and it obviously pays off.
Yeah. No, very, very draftable is Tara Harrington. Not of age yet, but I dare say the buzzards are circling, waiting until she is of draft age. And if you're a recruiter watching this game, that got a bit interesting on the ground between Landwehr and Giles, but all's fair in love and war. But yes, Tara Harrington I expect to hear on draft night in the future, and if she's not, then you're all silly.
Definitely agree. Her alongside Ava Usher, Havana Harris, just some of the few names I have no doubt you will hear very often.
It'll be a big night in the Bond clubhouse that night as Pittman puts pressure on Harrington. And apart from that one time just before when Harrington was able to create the goal, Pittman stuck to her like glue for most of the match.
Interesting to see the backline formation from Bond. They're all kind of in a line, stuck to their player though, which is good.
Giles got the ball but then turned it over to Harris, then Harrington. Harrington looking for options in the middle. Thompson got the ball and won the free kick anyway. So Thompson will come left. The coach herself works for AFLQ. Lovely mark on the run from Michaela Martin. She's made a habit of that over the last 3 years. Premiership with UQ 2 years ago. Crozier came from over the back. Spotted the run. Johnson circumnavigates the centre circle. Landwehr pushes left. Intercepted by Pittman and then not. Under pressure from Harrington. Rolls reversed. Giles saw the run of Pengelly. Got it to her eventually. Kicks ahead of Harris. And then lovely work coming back from Hannah Brennan. Done well since she moved here from New South Wales.
Aspley's ability to find space and be open is definitely a dangerous thing for them.
Over the back to Martin. Martin snapping. She often scores from here, not today. Aspley's first miss.
We just had someone go down near Bond's 50, but she's back up now, so no major injuries there, thankfully.
As the goal sign goes up on the scoreboard, because excitement is a wonderful thing. One goal plays one behind in this quarter as Rebecca out over the boundary.
Aspley's done a good job of preventing Bond from scoring this quarter.
I see that as the Brisbane Lions' influence on Australian women's footy, but certainly the QAFLW, where forward pressure, 1%ers. If as soon as your team loses the ball, you are a defender.
Yes, definitely. You've got to be able to switch your roles pretty quickly.
Johnson was just pulled off. Danietz pulled off the ball, I should say. That was a weird half sentence. Apologies. And then Giles caught in traffic. There will be a ball up in a handy position. Just a little bit of frustration from Danietz. Nothing to end up in a match report.
Aspley's got a few numbers loose in this stoppage here.
They hit it forward instead of back. Clean bowls Martin. Martin gets the plat out of her eyes and resumes being fierce. Another ball up, moving forward by inches. That was weird. I think Landwehr didn't realise that the whistle had been blown and kept wrestling.
The field's awfully spread at the moment. Everyone's everywhere.
Bond looking for a counter-attack, which they may get as the clearance Only went as far as Giles, who took it 48 out, wearing 45.
Aspley's positioning is phenomenal at the moment.
Aspley dominating this little passage, but with not much to show for it. Martin got it off hands ahead of Landwehr. Landwehr, I'm going to get that right. Not able to crack the defence yet. Lendrum working hard, got it forward. Martin couldn't hold on. Chaos ball. Hit out towards Johnson. Johnson gets a bit of separation. The handball to Hutton, who was well positioned. Got a lucky bounce, but she made it count. You'll get lucky bounces from time to time. God knows you'll get a lot of unlucky ones. Heads towards the boundary. Pittman. Inside. Thought she was looking for Katardis. Found Giles. Now it's Katardis. Good pick up from behind her in tough conditions. Found Pittman behind her. And an unmarked Vetter who inexplicably dropped it. Possibly a bit of sun in her eyes when you're looking to the right of your screen as the sun sets. We're nowhere near sunset yet, but you get the idea.
Yeah, it's a very sunny day. No clouds in the sky. Hot, but also windy. Good conditions for some football, if you ask me.
I'll censor this story, but one of the funniest things I ever saw in this ground was Molly Ritson looking into the sun, trying to receive a kick out, and yelling out at the top of her voice, "I can't see a thing."
Classic Ritzo. It's definitely a classic comment.
Having a good year at, is it Broadbeach this year she's gone to? There's a few players from Bond who have decided that QFAW is where they want to be right now, and all power to them. Contact off the ball, being held off the ball, so that'll be a free kick to Bond to clear. As a little confusion, but Paris Lightfoot. She wins free kicks without playing for them. It's a delightful trait. Has time for a bounce as she found some space. Good charge down from Tyson. She's never far away from the contest, Louise Tyson. Back inside 50, Stallard. Usually holds those. Knocked underneath to Crozier. This is Crozier's angle. Looks for the centering kick. Found Brennan. Fell to her, claims the mark, and rightly paid. I don't think there was a defensive hand on that one.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a phenomenal play. Lots of space. They were able to find that player that was loose, and it worked in their favour.
Brennan, one step, keep it simple, goal.
Yeah, definitely a good play there. Bond probably should have had a little bit more players locked on, but our defensive pressure comes and goes sometimes, I'll say. Probably something Andy should... Nah, he works on it. He definitely
tell
does.
Andy how to do his job. I know I do every now and then.
I'll be sure to let him know.
But I think you're right, and I'll just pay tribute to Rania Crozier there, who is another one I think is very, very draftable, where she has scored. Last year she won the QAFLW Goal of the Year with an effort from the 50 up at Maroochydore. She scored a brilliant goal at home to Maroochydore a couple of weeks ago. She scores goals against people who are not Maroochydore as well. But often she's gone for goal in that situation. Sometimes young players can think they're a bit invincible. There she thought, no, there's someone in a better position than me. I'm going to lay it off. So good maturity from, I think she's 17.
Wow, so
yeah.
She's young, got a lot of development in her, but she's also already quite good, as you say.
Yeah, it's
only up from here.
I suspect the footage of this match, there's a lot of you watching it now from interstate, from around Queensland, from southeast Queensland. But for those of you watching this in, say, the year 2032, this is a bit of a before they were famous match, because I think there's a lot of players on this ground who are going to go on to have decent careers.
Definitely.
Kicked out towards Taylor. Taylor does a do-si-do, gets it inside 50, just out of the reach of Della. Beautiful step, didn't really have anyone to run onto. Likewise, I think it was Kalea, and then the kick just slipped. I mean, she was under pressure, but also slipped as she was kicking it. That should be a ball in, a throw in Andes.
Yeah, something Bond often like to do is a lot of handballs, quite like the Bulldogs, which sometimes works in their favour, sometimes doesn't. Under pressure, it's definitely difficult to land good handballs.
You're right, when it works, and I think Bond have shown more often than not when they've had their full strength side that they can handball at pace, and when they trust their skills, it's a delight to watch and it's insanely effective.
Definitely, would definitely agree.
As Khalija was able to get the handball away, eventually fell out. Kerwin got half a kick away. Tyson, lovely positioning from Vanderweel around the outside. Slightly checked side, looking for the run of Tab. Tangle of arms, and that's a good decision. Tab, I don't think Evans was doing anything dirty, but she was definitely holding Tab's arm back.
It's interesting to see Andy putting her in the back. She usually plays more of a midfield wing role, but she's pretty versatile, so confident in her abilities.
As Crozier takes what for her is an easy mark, finds Pittman wide, Harrington tracking her. Inside to Crozier, a little bit of a moon ball, goes wide. Suddenly thought that Gabby Della was in a golden brown jersey. Della back inside, got a good kick away and not a lot of space. Dropped by, that might have been Ivarak, apologies.
Aspley have a lot of numbers around the stoppage. It's something they're very good at, getting there quickly and being outnumbering the opposition.
If you've got speed in your side, and both of these teams have, make them run, use it. You can create overlaps pretty much wherever you want.
Definitely, and using that space, kicking out to grass.
Ooh! Falcon, that's gone straight into the head of Ella Kaleja. But it play on. Martin, inside 50, kicked away, and that's a very important defensive mark.
Kiara Bisher, I believe that is. She's, again, phenomenal in that back line.
Finds Kaleja, finds the wide run of Taylor. Beautiful one too, but great hands from Vanderweel. Then got it back to Lanigan, created a 50-50 situation out of a 0-100. Superb work out of Vanderweel, number 16 for the Gelato.
Good positioning from both teams at the moment across the field as well. Everyone's found space, nothing's too congested at the pack.
Which is often how the better... Oh, brilliant tackle from Usher. Liesi was away, caused the turnover off the fingers of Ivarak. Ivarak gets the second effort, has Della in front, contact over the shoulder, Molly Jennings all over it. Ivarak free kick.
Ava Usher on her own in that middle. Takes the mark.
Decided to keep quiet there. Oh, played on too quickly. Thompson was all over her. Tyson, calls of ball, it wasn't because she was able to dispose. Just over the top of Kaleja. Kaleja turns, has a lot of space to think about it. Thought she had space. It's a 2-on-1. Ivarak! That's a nomination for Mark of the Year. That was tremendous work.
Yes, Bella takes a very, very nice mark in the air.
Plays on, goes towards the goal square. It was 1-on-2, maybe not the best option, but she was a bit far from goal, so I don't... Oh, picked up off the ground by Usher. How about the spoil from Thompson? She was on the ground. Kataris trying to clear. Desperate efforts galore. Pittman, outside of the boot, finds Tyson. How did Aspley get out of that one? I'll tell you. Lucy Thompson's flat on the ground spoil.
It's definitely a bit of a fight in there, but Aspley came out on top. Very composed. They're a very composed team.
This is high-quality state league football. Victorian Football League's having their finals this weekend. We love that league too, but we are insanely proud of what we have up here in Queensland. Evans, tackled by Crozier. Good work by Evans to get the disposal away. Brennan running. Handball over the top, really out of necessity. Has Moody tracking her. Brennan's done very well. Rips the ball from Moody's hands. Tackled. She's winning about a 1-on-3 there. Brennan versus Moody. Moody has not given up, and she may get a ball up out of this. You'd have to say that it was 1 overall by Aspley, but by Brennan. But Moody's tenacity, my goodness.
Yeah, her second and third efforts are phenomenal.
I think she got up to about a 7th effort there, didn't she? That was insane.
Yeah, maybe even 10. She never stops. She's ruthless.
Not much to see on the scoreboard in that half, just in that quarter rather, just 1 goal and 1 behind. But high quality play, entertainment aplenty. Half-time here at Bond University Oval, round 13 of the Bond University Oval the Bond University QAFLW. The Oval's got nothing to do with the sponsorship. Bond 7-3-45 lead Aspley 3-1-19. We hope you're enjoying the Bond University QAFLW live from the canal.
The thing I love about my job is that I get to combine both my passions together, surfing and musculoskeletal physiotherapy, and that was the PhD which I did here at Bond University.
I'm originally from southern Brazil, and during my PhD at Bond University, I met James Furness, and now we do surfing research together.
I was a physiotherapist, and so I took that knowledge to the surfing population. The facilities here at Bond University are incredible. Access to the equipment, so VO2 max testing, DEXA, all of that was here on campus. Really our goal is looking at minimising injury, but also maximising performance. Keeping people on the water for longer is really important. If someone can't surf, that affects their physical health, but also their mental health.
Through Bond University, I could get all the equipment I needed to do my PhD studies. It's world-class waves and international surfing events. It was a no-brainer.
We went to Snapper Rocks and we got to be part of a world-class surf event and also perform surfer health checks on the world's best surfers.
On the Gold Coast, we can find perfect work-life balance.
How I want to live my life with my family is I want it to be outdoors. I want them playing in the water, playing in the surf. The number one reason why students should come study here would be the access they have to staff, and it's just better than any other university. The fact that you can walk straight into the professor's office and get that one-on-one feedback, I think is just second to none.
overall, I mean, I have nothing but respect for Luke Matthews. I know some of the players don't. Which was another thing. I think probably there was probably a little bit more behind the scenes, but outside of football that probably didn't sit well with people. But he's still a lovely man, and he's friends with Dino. So
I'm filling up the water bottles. In a minute, though.
Your voice sits in a really nice place. It's not like it's deep enough.
Yes.
Still thin. Yeah. There we go. So there's no static or anything in the room now. So we're sweet.
But yeah, Andy's phenomenal. Like, even how I did quit, it was definitely an emotional decision because I was like, I was working myself to the ground and I was like, Andy, I can't do it. And then I had a bit of problem with like certain girls getting picked who weren't clear and things like that. And I was like, I hate being a complainer. And I emailed him. It's like, look, I have so much respect for you, man. Please don't take this as a personal dig. I just think there's a bit of issues within the club. And then we had coffee together for like an hour, and he's just so responsive. And he said, like, you know, you're such a valuable player in the team and things like that. So cool. He's a great coach, and the trainings that we do, and talking about the drills that we do. It's so fun. You can see them all done.
That's it. When did you, the amazing 2021 grand final where you beat Bond, so I think
Yes.
right. Now that is, I know it ended up being a full margin, but that is probably the highest quality of skill QAFLW game we ever had.
Yeah.
And it helped that we had like Lucy Single's first time.
Yeah, she's phenomenal. She's
But we noticed because that was when UQ and Bond played each other like 3 times in 5 weeks. So, and lucky enough to commentate 2. But the one here, final round of the season where Bond wasn't playing the game, and that was when Dakota did like all the UQ AFLW players. But that day Bond was stuck, and they hadn't seen anyone come at them that way. By the time the grand final came around, they were ready for it, and they thought, hang on, we can execute our skills as quickly as they can. We just have to believe in ourselves, and they did. It was just made for insane action.
Yeah, I think it's interesting every year because definitely Bond's such a good competitor. Staff that's coming in now. You know what I mean? That's probably our biggest rivalry.
I might say that something will come back on air, but if you haven't watched because I like to promote the channel, the official AFLW, so if you haven't watched the round 11 match between Southport and Bond University, just yeah, if you've got some spare time, you've got a boring work meeting or something, you know, just turn it on.
Yeah, that was it was a great game. They put up a good fight.
Oh, well, I mean, it's their first loss of the year. Actually, I might check the scores from today because I feel sorry for poor old Maroochydore, who might be copying the wrath of Southport today.
It's interesting though because you know Southport they came out very strong, but we beat them 70 in the Rezzies.
Yes.
The Rezzies came out dominated.
Yeah.
So yeah, they put up a really good fight, but somehow just missed it.
It's funny, I mean, reserve break, you're never quite sure whether someone has players out or whether they hold to the playing up or, you know, there's a wedding on which removes half the side.
Literally.
um,
You never know.
yeah, but with first round, first of all, 70 is huge against the club that's strong.
I think we've just got so much depth on those girls. Like, you know, some carry them up like Indian and team because you've got 6 really phenomenal young players. And then you've got your veterans like Paz and Courtney and things like that.
I literally did Leslie Caldwell scored, that's big. If Cooper win this, then the finals race is pretty much over. Cooper will get 4th.
Yeah. How many rounds have we got? 3. This one and 2 more.
This and 3 more.
Oh yeah.
So next week is Pride Round at Cooperoo, where we're doing commentary for all 4 games. I think. Sorry.
Damn it. Who's commentating the Bond game? Cheating on me.
I think that's Jeff Rowan. Do you know Jeff Rowan at all?
Maybe.
That's fine. He works for AFLW.
Oh yeah, I probably would know. Met a few football people.
Yeah, that's right.
Especially with Dad being a
Yes.
like a Rick fan.
It it opens doors, some of which you would rather not have open.
Yeah.
UQ are starting to get their straps. Richard, I don't know what it is. They have computer terminals up there, and they never update their scores during the matches. So, actually, the best place to do it, if I go to Insta, I reckon someone from South will be all over social media. So I was trying to work out the way of sort of not boring you with my feed, but
It's super interesting. Even just in the AFL at the moment, my family friend is second from CEO in the AFL.
oh sure.
Yeah, her name's Laura Kane. You might be familiar with her.
I certainly haven't met her, but the name sounds familiar. Keep going.
Yeah, she's acting. She's in role and acting in that position, and she came to Gold Coast a couple weeks ago, and she was just talking about how much talent there is in this kind of coffee, VFL.
That's so nice to hear. So,
Yeah, she said that coffee was up and coming, and which is probably something we could mention. But yeah, it's like she said, there's a lot of strength on these comps. She mainly obviously works with the men's because obviously the men's AFL is the main event of the year, but she's a very big advocate for women's footy. So
that's wonderful.
if she was here, I would have taught her.
Yes.
She's one of my biggest inspirations in life. She's going to be the first female CEO of the AFL. I'm calling it now.
How does she spell Kane?
Kane.
Sorry, Laura?
Laura, yeah.
Thank you. I will, as a compulsive researcher.
Yeah, no, she'll definitely be the first female CEO. Very proud of her. She's young, she's like 30, almost.
Well, there's so many professional administrators now who see as, oh, I just saw something. I clicked on one too many. That's reserves.
7 points in it.
Oh, that was reserves though, so I haven't posted anything for the first draw.
Southport.
They're funny. Southport sometimes have a very sort of closed culture where they don't always want people to know what they're doing. So
How goes the story?
It's why you need a young person around.
Should be one.
That's full-time. Full-time.
Yeah, 7 points. Maybe I'm sure we'll find out soon. In terms of recapping the quarter,
So yeah, good call.
Aspley probably won that one.
Okay.
I'd say. Their positioning is just phenomenal. Aspley's everywhere.
Would you be able to, when we get on here, would you be able to flesh that out in terms of, what is it about their positioning that's phenomenal?
Yeah.
Is it the way that they have the balance between numbers around the contest and places to go, sort of exit points, that kind of thing? So I won't tell you what to say
Yeah, I'll
because
flesh it out.
yeah,
But I think that probably was their biggest strength that helped them there.
terrific.
Always knowing where to be.
One thing I haven't picked up on is that wind is a lot stronger than I thought it was. So clearly, and so for Bonds to concede only one behind in that quarter, when the wind feels now like it was during the quarter, so I'm guessing that hasn't changed. So now Bond is attacking the windy end.
Yeah, no, good point. I think Bond's defensive pressure is something that's pretty dangerous. I mean, for other teams, it puts the opponent in a difficult position. I mean, Aspley did very well at getting the ball into the 50, just not very well at probably hitting that goal.
Actually, have a think, because in the first quarter, Aspley had a few inside 50s and Bond were able to break through. I think 3 of their goals were like sort of not length of the, well, one was length of the fit. But in that quarter, Aspley were able to lock it in a lot better, which I think would tie in with the points you want to make about positioning, that they were able to block off the exit points that Bond had.
Yeah.
Because that's another way of approaching it, maybe it's more of a three-quarter time thing. You are Andy Lovell, you are Luke Blackham. What would I be telling my players at this point? So feel free to use your imagination. So
Yeah, I definitely would agree. They kept it in nicely, and they prevented Bond from kicking any goals. I think their positioning was definitely Bond's positioning was definitely.
yeah, so feel free to expand on that. For example, you might say, like if I ask you why did that position didn't come, I just felt that a little bit too much ball watching, got a bit clustered. That Sorry, I had my head down when you shifted your head, so I let it go. Yes. Oh dear. That's the way I describe it. Yeah. I was a Christmas Day hustle with a pony, so I was a trailblazer. But I know, right? So, but yes, the way I describe my head now is half of it's curly, half of it's missing. Yeah, great fan.
Thank you.
So, naturally darker than you like.
Yeah, it's good. Spent a lot of money to be light. Still dark underneath though. Not rich enough to get the whole thing.
It's one expense that
Yes,
I'm sure you can choose to worry about. It's society doesn't demand
yes,
you worry about.
exactly.
So,
Us girls have that disadvantage. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't really know if I find many things that weird because I'm pretty weird myself.
oh, sister. Might wait for the next Hoosier and then come back.
Yep. Yeah.
The bells of Bond University Tower tell us it's time for the third quarter. That's exactly what they tell us of the Bond University QAFLW round 13 here at the Canal. Bond University out of the blocks in the first quarter, a 6-goal opening quarter, just the one in the second. They lead 7-3-45 to 3-1-19. 2 goals each to Havana Harris and Jasmine Davidson, 1 apiece to Lily Tarleton, Tara Harrington and Georgia Hutton. Aspley 3-1-19. Goals to Maddie Kawa, Rania Crozier and Hannah Brennan. My name's Daniel Viles. With me is Stevie Olorenshaw. They've moved quicker than I thought. Stevie, apologies for that. Tell me what you liked in that second half, and particularly your thoughts just around how the teams organised themselves.
Yeah, I think Aspley's positioning was probably better than Bond's in that quarter. They were able to, not only have numbers at the stoppage, but also numbers free and loose, which enabled them to get the ball quickly, quick handballs, and keep it in their 50, which I thought was great. Bond, on the other hand, probably were a little bit too congested at some times and probably didn't have enough loose players, but I'm sure they'll clean it up in this second half.
Davidson got the early hit out. Usher ran onto it. They're looking to start the second half as quickly as they started the first. Tarleton's goal side, narrow angle. You don't believe it.
There's one thing about Bond, we definitely like to respond from a heated and physical quarter, so good response there.
They took 16 seconds to score at that end in the first quarter. That was clearly too slow for Andy Lovell. They took 12. 12 seconds.
He probably told him off. He said, I needed under 10. Ava Usher's clearance was phenomenal.
Oh, my God.
Quick out of the pack, strong legs, and just, hitting that target. Lily Tarleton always ready to catch the ball and ready to kick a good goal.
Probably another Goal of the Year nomination, which really all you have to do is contact AFLW and say, check this out. That's pretty much as complicated as it gets. And I don't think there's any limit on who could do it. You can do it on a social media post. Third quarter, first minute, Bond University. Back to Daniels behind the contest. Looking wide. They don't want to concede a second one quickly. They were down 3 goals in 7 minutes. Kawa in the first quarter. Curvin working well below the ground. Went out to Sexton, who works almost exclusively on the ground. Landwehr retreating. Found Davidson out wide. Bond using the width of the field. I feel like I've said that before. Taylor inside. Ivarak on the 50.
The positioning's way better from Bond, just quietly in this first bit of the quarter.
after the play stops. Tell me about the wind. Pengelly coming from the back, knocking out towards Harrington. Harrington on her right foot this time. Didn't get all of it. Pengelly will shepherd it out, and it is a rush behind.
Yeah, with the wind, it's coming and going. I mean, we're with the wind, Bond's with the wind now, but in that last quarter, you know, Aspley were able to prevent Bond from scoring against the wind, but Bond probably were able to prevent Aspley from scoring with the wind, so it's interesting.
Thompson goes left. Big fly from the back from Crozier as I deafen my co-commentator, but it'll be tied up 52 from goal by Kawa and Taylor. Sorry about that, Stevie.
No worries.
She says, but she's deaf. Liesi just fumbled outside the contest. Sexton will hold on to it, and she's happy to say, let's just ball that up. I get excited when someone goes aerial.
Good positioning from everyone, I'd say. Nicely spread around the field. Not too high in the 50 from Aspley. Still got deep players. And Bond's positioning in their forward 50 is really good too.
Davidson wasn't able to create a clearance, so she did the next best thing and created another stoppage. Davidson again loses out to Kerwin this time. Kerwin, very underrated rush. She can take on the best. Johnson, Milne. Haven't seen too much of Milne. McCabe, knocked out of the way by Duretz. Harris going through. Got it enough to Ivorak. Ivorak, enough time, enough space. 6 points.
One thing about Bella Ivorak, she's very composed. She doesn't really crumble too much under pressure. It's probably her best football when she is in certain situations like that. So good to see. Good to see her getting goals on that scoreboard.
She struck me, now I don't know Bella well, but she strikes me as a fairly quiet kind of person. That's just when she gets confronted by a commentator after the match, is it? Or?
Depends what day it is.
Gotcha, right, okay. But,
I mean, quiet sometimes, but she's got a side. She's loud and out there for sure.
Stop talking before you get in trouble, Stevie. What I can say, though, is that we can add to her marking and her marking prowess the composure in front of goal, which I think is just me repeating what you said. So is that mansplaining? I hope not. As Liesi gets it out of the middle, dansplaining perhaps.
Probably
Milne
something of that sort.
Went to Evans. Milne bit off more than she could chew. Tied up by Stallard and Tyson. The Aspley bench full of energy as you'd want.
Bit of frustration there from Nyali, I think.
Nothing to be frustrated about, but has been able to get into this game, as you say. Forward from Stallard. Over the back, and there was a clear push in the back on that occasion from Brennan. She knew it, didn't argue.
Gabby Della coming on, number 14 for Bond. And Ava Rusher going off, swapping in for Ella Khalija.
As Blair's kick to Sexton was short. Good pick up off the toes. Sexton cleared in the path of Johnston. Curvin got there first. Socket to no one. It'll be cleaned up by Harris, playing a long way back, because that's what you have to do. Martin just thrown off the ball, picked up by the umpire. Nothing deliberate in it. It was just trying to clear the player and didn't quite go to plan.
Definitely a physical game from both sides, so definitely no intentions in anything, but it's good to see a fair bit of fight from both sides.
And they respect each other's physicality. There's been no complaining whatsoever, and that's how you take a defensive mark.
She does it
Bishop.
Very effortlessly.
Khalija at left half back. Very calmly finds Hutton. Duretz got there fiercely. Again, that was just physical presence and strength. Vanderweel inside to Daniels. It's a lovely handball. Tried to play the 1-2. There was just a Bond hand on it. Khalija knocked it inside. Crash of bodies. Martin regains possession. Thumps it forward to Crozier. Good pressure on her from Bishop. Doesn't all have to be pretty. She can do the hard yakka as well. Duretz. Superb work crashing in from the back.
Again, Aspley's positioning presenting itself as very advantageous in this moment.
But Aspley not making the mistakes of the first quarter by making sure that they can lock it in. Michaela Martin, who sometimes you don't notice her, and then you look at the stats at the end of the game and she's had 40 possessions. Finds space. Doesn't fall to Lendrum's advantage. Moody running the other way. Dispossessed by Crozier. Crozier will have a shot.
Dangerous position for a ball.
And there are some old wise heads in this Aspley side who said, for goodness sake, Rania, slow down. And in the context of the QAFLW, Courtney Daniels, who turned 27 the other week, is old.
Wouldn't say she's that old. 27's pretty young.
Rania Crozier towards the mark, outside of the boot, but it's good enough. Crozier has her second for the afternoon.
I think they're just very, very skillful footy. They're smart decision making, again, positioning. Definitely a strong side and really showing in the last 2 quarters particularly. Again, Bond quite responsive. You know, they're still a strong team. It's strong from both ends. We're looking at some pretty good, strong final footy teams at the moment in their best form. I would argue.
Yeah, the personnel and the form. I think you're absolutely right, Stevie Olorenshaw. That it's there. They may meet. I mean, okay. If we call Southport the favourites, there is a very high chance we're watching a preliminary final preview here.
Oh,
Now,
definitely.
That is not guaranteed. That is simply likelihood. Football is a hilarious game at times. Aspley out of the middle, forward to Daniels. Good work before that from Giles. Nearly held by Lendrum, just under very tight pressure from Blair at the back. Lendrum turns, finds Crozier outside. Crozier looking for space, goes check side with the right foot, finds Giles instead.
Again.
And Aspley's starting to win the centre contest. Sorry, Stevie.
No, you're fine. Dangerous positioning from them. Again, it's presenting itself advantageous over and over again, and they're just winning that football continuously. Bond will have to pick up their defensive pressure and locking in.
Mackay City Saints, thank you for sending Hannah Giles down to the QAFLW. 3rd game for Aspley, and her 2nd goal. A little shift in proceedings at Bond University Oval. 2 goals in 2 minutes for the Aspley Hornets.
Yeah, it's definitely on the comeback. They've got a long way to go, but if anyone can do it, it'll be Aspley. They're looking very, very fierce in this.
Well, again, I talked about the first quarter of the corresponding fixture at Zups Aspley Oval back in May. Of course, the last quarter, poor Lily Tarleton missed a set shot towards the end, then Aspley scored twice to snatch it. It was, sorry, was that painful for me?
Probably a bit. You're bringing up some traumatic experiences.
Yeah, so look, I know some counsellors. We can talk about that for you, Steve.
Might have sent me their number.
Yeah. Have your people call my people.
Will do.
Enthralling contest. It's a 33-point margin. You don't normally describe a 33-point margin as an enthralling contest at this level of footy. This is. We are seeing quality from end to end, and Aspley kicking into the wind after conceding a Wunder goal in the first 12 seconds are on top in this 3rd term. Kerwin away from Davidson. Liesi getting her hands on the ball, has a Landwehr around her. Umpire will ball it up.
Positioning's all around the field from both teams really good, spread out, nothing too congested. So interesting play about to happen.
Goals by Crozier and Giles cancelling out Tarleton and Ivorak's goals in this quarter. Fierce contest on the ground. Giles is in there. Landwehr, I think, is trying to pull her off it. Apologies, that was Usher. And at the bottom of it all was McCabe, who's had a good game, probably most prominent in that opening 20 minutes really. Liesi, there's McCabe putting pressure on. Back to Martin. Martin has enough space to clear. Looking forward for the run of Crozier. Katasis, what a brilliant slips catch by McMullen. Had no time to react and ended up in the midst. Liesi, heading back towards 50. Crozier tried to get front position, didn't. McMullen again, went wide. Katasis got in the way. McMullen with a 3rd effort. Andy Lovell will be highlighting that afterwards. This will be cut out on video. Harrington got a horrible bounce. Pittman. That's been a wonderful battle. Pittman versus Harrington on that side. Thumped out of the contest. Bond with a 50. Aspley just had repeat entries and already we're at the other end of the field.
Yeah, the efforts of Sienna McMullen in that play is just phenomenal. I mean, young, but so fierce, so competitive, and her skills just present every single time. Very little time does she fail or make a mistake, so it's good. It's so good to see her just thriving in football recently.
So much love about this competition. And I'm on record as saying I thought this might be a rebuilding year for Bond with people like Katie Thorne and Annie Muir, Shannon Dankert all heading to the VFLW, and some of them are playing. Harris, narrow angle, rucked, roved, missed.
Yeah, Annie and Caitlin Thorne particularly were some heavy losses, but they seem to be doing really, really well in the VFL, so super proud of both of them.
And I thought, okay, Bond come back to the pack, and then you take a few years building up the next generation. You took a few seconds to build up the next generation. You just, it's been remarkable. And really, I mean, we all want to see good footy in this competition. And Bond said, no, we're not going to wait before we start producing it again. It's been incredible.
I think with new coaching staff and just, new goals and new mottos, it's the place to be at the moment. And everyone wants to develop, and that's exactly what's happening.
There's Thompson. I'll tell you about the Aspley story in a minute. It's no less remarkable. Pushing off the ball, Bond with another chance. Because Aspley will win this 3 years ago, and now they're challenging for top 3. Well, they're probably in the top 3. Harrington got enough space, got away from Giles. Not really a goal shot. Della! What's the ruling? It's called a mark. Controlled it inside the boundary, and if it was anyone else in any other corner of the ground, I'd have my doubts.
I'm confident, and I'm not sure
Della,
about the angle.
Inside. You wouldn't believe it, except that it's Gabby Della in the Della pocket.
And if there's anyone that can do it, Gabby Della is the one. She is phenomenal. Her skills have gotten so much better over the past 2 seasons. Andy Lovell's been pushing us to a whole new level, and our skills have just increased every training session. So shout out to Andy Lovell.
Not currying favour at all there, is Stevie Oliver, sure. I want to say some more about Aspley. They've just conceded a goal, but they've been building steadily, came up from the lower divisions. 2019 was their first year. They struggled for, even last year they improved enormously and still finished 6th. This year, they're definitely top 3. Still a I mean, this loss, sorry, I'm being premature here. If they lose this, that'll hurt. But to be a top 3 side, and more than that, just playing amazing football. Bond are playing amazing football right now. They've gone inside 50 again. Harrington and Ivorak combining, each creating space for the other. The Aspley numbers get back. Pengelly working hard just behind the contest. On the ground, might be Giles. Free kick. It was Pittman on the ground. I think she's been ruled to have pulled the ball back into the contest. Happy to be corrected. But Harrington will have a shot. Scored in the first quarter. Set shot.
She's had a great game, Tara Harrington, today.
Got the wind at her back. Looks like it'll fall short. Punch through. That's the professional thing to do. Well done, Aspley defence.
Yeah, I think another thing for Aspley is the depth they have through their ones and their resis team. I mean, they've got skills all around the board, and particularly in their men's team as well. It's you know, the whole Aspley organisation seems to be going pretty well across the board. Lots of depth.
Only the Aspley's second loss in reserve grade today. That's score in a moment. Vanderweel and Hutton competing. Bond regain and then give it away straight away. Danietz into open space looking for the run of Tab. Tab and Lightfoot competing hard. Lightfoot wins. Probably gave away a bit of muscle, but used what she had. I can't believe I just said a personal trainer and a gym owner gave away muscle. Harris, Milne. Milne from about 50 out. Has a big run. That's a long run, actually. Umpire chooses to let it go. Missed. That may have been controversial.
Slightly to the side, but that's okay. Any score's a good score.
Yes, I will say, as a neutral observer, I thought that was a long 15. So.
I was going to say they're quite flooded in the middle, both teams, but they seem to be moving out to that side wing now.
I think they both want to spread, but sometimes, well, Aspley have had to respond to what Bond has done today. As Crozier did well on the ground, and then McMullen did well in the air. Tyson ragdolls her a little bit. Back to Harrington. Space created by Della. Comes inside. Falls into no woman's land. Vanderweel just hacks it out. McMullen marks. Plays on quickly. In towards the hot spot. Liesi got in the way. Ivorak with the snap. Won't make the distance. Lanigan, her opposite number, takes it.
Probably would have been a good idea to have someone real deep in that play, but still good efforts from Bella Ivorak and Tara Harrington and Courtney Sexton as well.
I think she possibly thought about passing, but I have heard somewhere that the first option is the best option. Pengelly will come
maybe
out.
Talk to Lovell about that one.
Vetter on the counter-attack. Has players ahead, but none in front position. Looking for Crozier. Crozier not able to take the mark, and that's superb work by Bisher at the back. Her reputation as a defender is growing round by round this year.
Yep.
Duretz came up very well from defence and is able to lock it up near the centre circle.
Yeah, Bish is undoubtedly one of my favourite players to watch. Just every game she brings out something new. She's strong, she's defensive, she puts on good pressure. Yeah, she's definitely a name to watch as well.
Liesi wins it from the contest. She's been one of Astley's best today. Over the back, Brennan heading for it. Crozier will get there first because the ball took a football bounce. Ends up thumping it. It's gone over the back of Blair. Runs through to Vetter. Vetter, last year's leading goal scorer, adds to a tally this year.
It almost seems effortless when Aspley plays sometimes with their handballs and the way that they just move the ball so quickly and so graciously.
Beautiful description. That's
Yeah.
lovely.
Big word from me.
No, I disagree entirely. Your vocabulary is beyond dispute. Rachel Vetter, number 40. I'm not sure how much you've seen of her in your footy watching over the past few years, but her ability to find space where you don't think there is any, whether it's in a marking contest, whether it's running forward. Remember, she won the free kick down here, and then with her lung buster, she was the one who was able to finish it off in the goal square. And that's one of the reasons why she just keeps slotting them through at this level. I think it was about 24 last year.
Wow. Yeah, I'd say she resembles someone a bit like Cody Waitman, one of my favourite players in the AFL. So hearing that seems very similar. So good on her for her amazing goal kicking.
Aspley starting to get the centre clearances. That one was from Giles to Daniels. Some funny bounces which allowed Sexton to do what she does, which is loose ball, mine. You think it's yours? No, it's not. It's mine.
She's a small player, but wow, does she make an effort, and she's so fierce and makes a lot of damage in those stoppages and in the middle.
Andy Lovell told me that he thinks Courtney Sexton is the most competitive beast he's ever seen. And Andy Lovell's seen one or two footballers.
Yeah, no, I definitely would have to back him on that as well. I mean, she never gives up. She's always ready for a fight, and her height and her size doesn't scare her at all. She's always the first one in.
Khalija moves forward, not her best kick, but it creates an opportunity. Ivarak competing. Out of the back comes Pittman. She's had one of the most difficult jobs on the field today, playing up against Tara Harrington. She's come out of that pretty much level. Martin up the boundary, not quite held by Blair. Harris inside, didn't really have many options. Tyson clears, looking for the run of Crozier. It'll be cleaned up by Moody. I missed before that Taylor did a beautiful left foot kick out of the centre to create some space. And then Van der Weel. Was there gravy on that? No, I think she just lost her balance. I don't think she was playing for 50. The bench wanted it. Gone to the left half forward position and taken strongly by Michaela Martin.
Very good
probably
play.
end of her range. She's decided to look for a shorter option. Didn't work. Bishop was in the way. Oh, beautiful handballing to the captain, Daniels. Daniels walks it in. Daniels does not walk it in, and I should have looked at her face of disgust.
Yeah, probably a bit of disappointment there, but, you know, she's under pressure, so can't blame her. I probably would have missed, even if it was a set shot.
She sets very high standards for herself, Daniels. She's already a premiership captain back in 2018. I think she was only about 22
Wow.
when won with Wilston Grange.
So she's been around a while.
Oh, she's classy. She's someone who, in an alternate universe, she's an AFLW player.
Yeah, wow. Sally Evans here. Very
Move-
lovely work.
Moving back inside, nothing wrong. Landwehr wins a one-on-one. McCabe, the counter-attack is fierce. Usher went inside, wrong option.
Yeah, she took that competition on. Probably would have been better to move the other way, but
First option. And it's better to, every now and then you'll take the wrong one, but being decisive is there. Aspley, plenty of calls on the bench. There's only 18 seconds left, and they've just struggled. The umpire quite rightly pulled Giles behind the mark. So 11 seconds of frenetic play. The kick wasn't great. Harris, Tarleton, Harris again. Breaks one tackle, two tackles. Got it out wide to, I think, Ivarak. The siren will beat any... We could have had 2 goals in the last 10 seconds of the quarter. That's not meant to be possible. Bond University, 11, 7, 73. Numerically, you'd have to say they won that quarter 4-3. But again, when each team has been attacking that end, the football has been frenetic, exciting, and high quality. Bond University in control here. This is round 13 of the Bond University QAFLW here at the Canal.
I feel like it's getting easier.
It does. What is the one thing I'll say in this little bit of time? This is how do we make Stevie better, not really at the start of the quarter, make sure you come out so that I can sort of build your build up for the ball. Yeah. Final quarter here, so that's one of those things you don't know if no one told you. Cool. But I am beyond impressed.
I mean, if there's one person that can do it, it's me. I talk a lot. I'm being told.
So it's still having fun. That's believable, but I didn't know it.
Yeah, I was about to, but because I'm so short, the pants are big, so it was a sharp of it, yeah.
One of my best boys, Paul, difficulty is that I often hear songs, as in people say something and so you I hear the so I just turn Portsmouth by name and start with that past. Oh, I've been through the day without a shot of no fun. But I enjoy the song, and that's what matters. Four in the quarter for Bond. I've got Lily scored the one straight away. Then Bella scored one a couple minutes later. Gabby scored one. She scored, didn't she? What did she miss? Yeah, I've got, I think it's in the first half, Harris Carpenter on the couple of Davidson Harris. Davidson in the second quarter, then
People must have taken it. Definitely have been taken over, for sure. Play in your lane, and we'll do our job. Oh, God, I'm getting wet. I do. Desperately, in fact.
Round 13 of the Bond University QAFLW. We have a correction to the score. I didn't miss a goal. It was only 10 goals to Bond University. They're 10-7-67. Aspley 6-2-38, 29-point margin. My name's Daniel Viles. With me is Stevie Olorenshaw from the Bond University Club. It's an amazing game so far. We've just heard Luke Blacken and the Aspley team were having a... they believe they're right in this. They're 5 goals behind. Your ideas about how this game might go, because Bond were equally full of energy. I think they're definitely going to bring it. How do you see it playing out?
I mean, if anyone can do it, it'll be Aspley. I mean, it's still quite a large margin. Bond quite fierce, come out strong, so it'll be interesting to see. But no, I mean, I'm excited. I think Bond will come out on top. Fingers crossed. Maybe a bit of bias there, but no, yeah. If Aspley can do it, it'll be good.
Jasmine Davidson, known for her fourth quarter efforts and right on cue, wins the first ruck contest. Over to Usher. Not able to start this quarter as quickly as she started the last one. Sexton's handball blocked by Vanderweel. Began the year as a defender, moved on the ball, occasionally wide, looking right at home. Vanderweel will get on the ball now, pushed off it by Usher legally. Back to McCabe. McCabe with a thump. Goes wide, it's ahead of Nyali Milne. Runs inside Lanigan. Good pace from Milne. Bounce pass that worked to McCabe. Outside to Sexton. Sexton will go for the deep entry. Pengelly with the punch. Sensible football.
Good positioning from Bond there. Courtney Sexton on her own. Dangerous play to be loose. And obviously got the ball. And now it's in Bond's favour.
This is where I wish we had access to the GPS systems to see what kind of run Courtney did to get to right half forward. I mean, she has the vision.
She's got good pace too, so it would have been quick.
It's a pretty good skill set she has. Falls back to Giles. Found some space where she possibly had no right to. Forward to Daniels. They're going straight up the guts. Hutton in good position. Friendly fire with Lightfoot. Maybe needed some more communication. But Hutton, brilliant effort. Found Moody behind her. Comes wide. Finds the run of Evans. Evans just turned Martin inside out. And then maybe needed a better kick because that's landed in the path of Kawa. Kawa on her bike straight away. Vetter is loose. Not able to get it to her. Vetter finds her way into the contest now. Looking for Crozier wide. Good work on the ground from Bisher again. Bisher has been mighty at fullback today.
Yeah, she's definitely been a helpful a player back there and done wonders. She's always someone you can count on.
Vetter and Lightfoot are on each other at, right near the goal square. Pickpocketed. That was that Blair who pickpocketed out of the middle. Lanigan got it, so they have to do it all again. The Bond defence over everyone. Falls towards Brennan. In the end, it was Blair. Calls of ball. I can see why. That might have a bit of... no. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. It's with Harrington. Let's erase the last 20 seconds of commentary. Usher down the left wing. Stepping. Weaving. McCabe through the centre circle. She goes inside 50, end-to-end football, and on the end of it is Bella Ivarak.
That's exactly what the Bond Sharkies practice at training, so good to see it.
She goes left because all on her lonesome was Ava Usher. She's got a good set shot. She'll be confident.
Yeah, definitely confident, and the way that they moved the ball was so smooth, so composed. Again, something that we behind closely in on in training.
I missed the defender. It might have been Usher who's worked the way up the ground, who was just able to get the hand into the contest and get the ball loose. She now has a set shot. There's a few vocals behind her. Straight but short. Over towards the side. Bond looking to get their hands on it. It will be rushed through, but for one moment it looked like they'd be able to knock it back for a second opportunity.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate there, but good play nonetheless. Ava's she's quick, she's got endurance, very versatile player.
Thompson had a very good year at fullback and has done a lot of good things today. Kicks out from fullback. Pengelly running onto it. Got a bit of space, puts it to boot more or less straight away over the head of the contest. Lightfoot looking to clean up, leaves it for Moody. Moody's handball's ineffective. Vetter broke away, got a left foot kick away. Hutton was well positioned ahead of Brennan.
Yeah, very good positioning there from Georgia Hutton, number 11 from Bond University.
The kick wasn't as good. Bishop tries to make it work. 2-on-1, held. Big opportunity here for the Hornets. Crozier will have the set shot on her preferred side.
Definitely unfortunate for Bond, but something that will be very positive for Aspley if they can make this in some capacity. Will put them in a really good position to come back.
I can criticise because I said plenty. Actually, I'll get back to that in a moment. Crozier, deep in the pocket. Few players have scored from there today. Not her right now. Essentially, I mean, I praise Georgia Hutton a lot. She's a wonderful player and a favourite of mine. It was her mistake there with not finding the chest of Bishop that put her under pressure. But they've dodged the bullet. Yes, no, I definitely agree. She did really well with her mark, and then the kick just fell a bit short. But I'm sure she'll clean it up eventually. Yeah, always does more good things than bad things in the game. Crozier cleans up, finds Giles. They've been wonderful today, as has Usher. And called for high contact. No, sorry, the free kick's on the other way. I've missed that. Usher will clear down that southern side. Just reaching forward in the contest was Lingard. Comes out to Curvin. Curvin, wobbly kick towards Crozier. Stallard was onto it. There are days when Stallard just can't drop the ball, and today the hands just haven't been as sticky. Yeah, and I do notice, I mean, you know, Aspley's everywhere. The ball is feeding back in and out. It's almost like a game of tennis. But, you know, they're always in the right positions again, continuously. There are tennis courts just to the left of the camera shot at the moment, and further to the left is the rugby field, where there are the odd player who traverse between the rugby field and the Aussie Rules field, probably most notably Madison and Tegan Levi. Yes, yes. They've probably lost to footy now, but, you know, career's a long time, as Michaela Martin wraps up, no, not Moody, Landwehr. I'm going to get it right. Ball up in front of the slightly more eastern grandstand. Bit of a congested stoppage, I'd say. Lots of numbers there. Usher decided that congestion doesn't bother her. She went straight through the middle.
As per usual.
Yes, never saw congestion she didn't like. Pittman twists, turns, gets away from Davidson. Good disposal, goes over the head of Bisher. Running through was Crozier. They haven't been playing directly on each other all of today, but Crozier versus Bisher is high quality. Came out to Sexton via a handball. Sexton keeps it wide. It'll beat Harris. Lingard has two Hornets around her. The knock-on just came from, I think, Pittman. Pittman will retreat. Now has to get the ball away from Lily Tarleton. She's taking on people 3 times her size and won all the battles till that one, and then comes up with a win anyway. Just needs to get away from Landwehr. Didn't. Pengelly helping out. Pengelly brings it aground. I have a feeling we're going to hear calls of ball about 300 more times before the game finishes.
Pretty common AFL game then, isn't it?
More or less, yeah. Yes, certainly not singling out Aspley. It's it's passion, and it's clean passion, if that makes any sense. There's been nothing dirty in this game.
Yeah, no, definitely been a very clean game of footy, I agree, and it's good to see because I think that's pretty much the essence of women footy. Very, very gracious, clean, but pristine skill football.
There's a reason I choose to commentate women's football. It's not the men won't have me, it's that I prefer to be here.
I don't blame you.
It's put inside by Davidson. Beautiful positioning from Della.
Interesting, not a lot of options for her.
Aspley marked up. Coming through the middle was Milne. Went past it. Lanigan brought up her 100th game last time we had Aspley on the broadcast. Thompson, precise kick, found Vetter.
Yeah, good option there. Great option even.
Vetter, you might want to keep an eye on her if Aspley can get this going forward. There's the sticky mitts of Jess Stallard. That's what we're more accustomed to. Plays wide. Carmel was looking into the sun. Watched it go over to her head, Runs around Landwehr. Needs a target inside. Not her cleanest kick. Looking for Crozier, who got there first. Knocked it inside, just past Carmel. Boundary umpire said it was already out.
Again, interesting, very spread out around the field all the way. You've got 3 loose Aspley players in Bonds forward 50, so it'll take quite a bit of work to get back there. But we seem to be flooding the forward. Aspley's forward.
When you're 30 points up, you have that luxury if you want to shut the game down, even if it's only temporarily. I don't think Bond has put the cue in the rack, as the cliche goes, but they do have the option of, if the opposition's getting on top, we can just play it out. Davidson, so often, even if she's not dominating the rucks during the game, in the 4th quarter, just her fitness will mean that she gets on top then. She did that in the prelim final here in 2021 against the great Jackie DePay, of all people.
Yeah, no, she's a very trustworthy player. You can always put faith in her to bring out her best skills in those last and crucial moments of the game. Hence why she'll be a very, very prominent premiership player if we can make it to the end. Which is important.
A lot of people at Bond who have a career that's worthy of a premiership, but unfortunately it's not how premierships work. Because a lot of people on the Southport side who are worthy of a premiership, a lot of people on the Aspley side who are worthy of, a lot of people on the Yeronga side who are bottom of the table at the moment. I'm only singling them out to make an extreme example, who are worthy of a premiership.
I think that just goes to show how much talent the QAFL actually has and how diverse we all are in different teams and our skills. I mean, for Queensland footy, it's phenomenal to see.
As Danietz just put it forward on the boot. Didn't have the space to get a lot of control. Boundary throw in. Halfway through the final term. You don't often say that a team 30 points behind is still in this. And even if you think the 4 points are gone, there's a lot of football to be played. I don't expect the intensity to drop at all. Georgia Hutton finds Milne. Milne knocking it through. And they're prepared to retreat to advance. Hutton goes wide. I've seen her do that about 2,000 times in the 3 years that she played top grade. Vetter was outnumbered and managed to tie it up. I'm not surprised, I'm just impressed.
She is an impressive player. Bit of aggression there. Nothing outside of what usual football is, though.
Yes, no. Vetter can be feisty, but...
Can't we all?
Speak for yourself, Stevie Rachel. Inside the 50, Aspley trying to create an opportunity. Milne, who's had limited opportunities today, perfect off break. She meant that. Ava Usher in the conversation for best on ground today. Lingard flying up from behind. Lanigan says, into the chest of Johnson. Didn't feel a thing. Tourette's, there are no Bond Bull Sharks ahead of the ball, and yet it may fall their way. Landwehr, Pengelly picks up. Landwehr was nearly going to take on the whole side by herself. Liesi in the middle to Martin. Just got the little professional push from Moody. She's been around the block a few times. Inside 50, over the head of Crozier, who just got underneath that. Bishop pushed her into an unfamiliar position, or brought her into an unfamiliar position, rather. She clears to the left, finds Landwehr, who's been absolutely superb today.
She's been playing phenomenal football every week, consistent, and her skills are just second to none.
Collegia, circumnavigating. Pittman, just got the hands around, I think it was McCabe. Back in the middle, found Davidson. Been absolutely superb today. Over the back to Duretz. Landwehr could have picked up the ball, but only had eyes for Duretz.
I will say Bond's got some interesting positioning. I mean, there's a lot of players in the middle, but you've got, I believe it's Sally Evans on her own out here, but I think they, in my professional football opinion, could use some space.
Is that just tiredness, just losing a little bit of just that half second of concentration that you have in the first quarter to maintain your positioning?
Probably. I mean, it's different when you're playing, isn't it? You can say whatever you want, but it's very different when you're actually in the game.
Oh, the game's so easy from up here, Stevie. I hope you appreciated that today.
Of course. Very different to when I'm on the field.
10 goals to 6. Started with a flurry. We have not yet had a goal in this final term. As the players are exhausted, it's a 2 p.m. start, and temperature would be in the low 20s today. There's a little bit of wind, but not really enough to cool things down noticeably.
Yeah, I think it was actually perfect conditions to play football. Not too hot, not too windy, but yeah.
Giles finds Katatis, has Lendrum in support. Katatis goes high, looking for the run of Crozier wide, and that'll get the run over the boundary. And so you can see what Katatis was trying to do, just didn't quite work in the moment.
Yeah, it probably would have been better to find players the other side and probably bring it more into the middle, but I mean, the 45's always good kicking.
Didn't mention at the start of the game, Jamie Bryant, number 15 for Aspley, was originally named in the side. She has a small ankle complaint, so hopefully it doesn't keep her out for too long as Bond are able to regain possession. But Isa Katatis was the late emergency who came in, and she's certainly held her own on the field today. As Harris, tall player but agile, so able to get down and manages to attract 5 Hornets. It's like she was covered in honey.
Something a lot of tall players probably don't have is that ability to play to the low to the ground, but Havana seems to do it pretty effortlessly, if you ask me. But
now there's, just to acknowledge the elephant in the room, there are big raps on Havana Harris, but I am determined not to build her up too much while she's still learning senior football. I mean, odds are she will have a great career, but not if idiots like me in the commentary box start building her up beyond all belief.
I mean, you can always get better, right?
Oh, Kalaja nearly came down with the Rainmaker. Davidson's showing good form below the knees. Milne putting in a big effort this last quarter. Kawa, clever. Kicked the ball out of the way legally. It wasn't kicking in danger. Milne hasn't given up. Milne may get herself a shot here. If she's able to finish this off, this will be something special. She didn't, but that's no disgrace. Lingard with a beautiful clean up at the back. She has worked very hard today, Ange Lingard.
I think that's a thing from both teams, those second and third efforts, and just never giving up. The fight hasn't stopped for 4 quarters, which makes it such a great game of football to watch.
Pittman to Liesi, 2 of Astley's best today. Pittman's work on Harrington has been awesome. Not a great kick, cleaned up by Milne. Milne a fair way out, goes to the pocket because she saw, all on her lonesome, Gabby Della, who has to kick from not her favourite pocket. So this will be an incredibly difficult challenge for her.
Definitely, but very good from Nyali. A good football knowledge in general, and just the decision was the perfect one to make.
Well, teenagers aren't supposed to have that kind of vision, but Bond's got about 3 or 4 of them. Gabby Della, slightly older than that, came up from Geelong a couple of years ago. And that is the sealer. You'd have to say it is now beyond Aspley's reach.
I would definitely agree. I mean, Gabby Della, always counted her to create a bigger margin. Was never in doubt, unlike someone next to me.
Always talk a player down and then they can impress you and everyone goes, yeah, stick it up the commentator. But Bond, they've been under the pump for large sections of this quarter, but they've held firm. And it was only with 4.5 minutes to go that the result has now been put beyond doubt. But I say the result in terms of who wins. I'm not a leave the game early kind of guy. I'm like, well, there's 4.5 minutes left. You do not know what's going to happen. And I'm not putting it beyond these players to produce something that I will never forget in the last 4 minutes.
Yeah, again, if there's anyone that can do it, it'd be Aspley. Maybe Southport if they were in the same position.
In the back, so Usher finally makes a mistake. It took until the 76th minute of the game. Liesi, beautiful boot on Lucia Liesi. Over the back, out of the hands of Stellard, runs to Daniels. Missed one before. Not her day.
She probably could have taken a little bit more time on the kick, but I guess, there was players around her, so a bit under pressure there.
Sometimes it just won't fall, and I suppose, and I'd say this regardless of who was winning, if you're going to have an off day with the boot, have it in round 13 rather than a preliminary final or a grand final.
Yes, exactly.
Bond able to play it out. Havana Harris, that's the kind of thing. That.
Yeah, phenomenal football, always.
From the back, Pittman went for the leap. It's been called ambitious, but I admire the effort. I can see why Pittman has a gripe, but on balance, I think the correct decision. Usher.
Definitely agree.
Now they're just going for highlight reels. Kaleja. That's unfair. They're trying to win the game. They're trying to play well. Pittman, good handball to Martin. Martin thumps it towards Daniels. Good pressure from Lightfoot. Captain on captain. Hooks it around, looking for Brennan. Everyone's looking into the sun. Brennan looking to get the jump on Blair. Needs a good bounce. Didn't get one. May be able to keep it in front of her. Blair's done extremely well.
That was a phenomenal running from Gemma Blair. Fellow Bond University student.
Yeah, scholarship holder this year, and as Gabby Della was a couple of years ago.
Yes.
I think before that...
Michaela Power guys is one of their...
Yes, Esther Bowles.
Yes. There's been a couple.
Inside, possibly Aspley's last opportunity. McMullen just fumbled, but will clear, but it's going to come to Pittman. Pressure from, and yeah, McCabe, she wasn't trying to do anything untoward, but she did collect Pittman airborne, so that's a free kick.
Probably a good decision.
Pittman. They're just going for it now. That fell onto the feet of Lightfoot. I'm not sure if that counts as a disposal, but she's got a handball now anyway. Now, this could fall anywhere. Chaos ball. Daniels putting pressure on. Out to Stallard. Stallard dribbling it through. She has worked so hard. She's earned that.
Yeah, Aspley's efforts have been phenomenal all day. Despite being, behind, they haven't stopped, and they're confident. And I do appreciate a team that never puts up, never quits, I guess.
Nothing wrong with the entertainment. Now, Stevie, your first time in the commentary box, and
yes.
I always put the pressure on the co-commentators to pretend that you're the one awarding the so-called Brownlow or the Zilke medal votes.
Yep.
That's right. We keep forgetting we have a name now, and Emma Zilke, an absolutely perfect honoree for the best and fairest medal.
Definitely.
So at full time, I will ask you to give your 3 points to the best player on ground, 2 to second best, 1 to third best. I'll have a crack at it as well, and everyone can laugh at us, but it's all care, no responsibility. Bond Davidson again had a good fourth quarter. Hacked inside 50, overturned. Emma Pittman never stopped trying. Pengelly. They've got a bit less than a minute. Lee Matthews always says it takes 1 minute to score a goal. Aspley not finished. Vetter chasing through. One-on-one contests ahead of her. Bond had numbers at the contest. Hutton was behind it, but the work on the ground might have been McMullen there. Johnson, good work from Liesi. McCabe.
Josie's always at the contest, someone you can count on to be there every single time.
This is probably, I haven't just discovered Josie McCabe today. Last year she did some incredible work.
She did, yeah.
But in terms of a four-quarter performance, it's probably the best QAFLW game I've seen her play, particularly taking into account the strength of the opposition. Pengelly could have marked that and then wrestled over the boundary. It is an 80-minute game. You don't stop playing at 76 just because you got the win. Havana Harris, 2 seconds. Full time. It's been entertainment galore at Bond University Oval. Aspley will be disappointed. They came here with ambition, but Bond University, with a side that, remember, has to be sort of reformed every few weeks as the under-18 players go in and out, have put on a magnificent show today. slightly more than half of their goals coming in the first quarter. So Bond University 11-8-74 have defeated Aspley 7-3-45. I'll go through the goal scorers for you and then a summary from Stevie Olorenshaw. So 2 goals apiece to Havana Harris, Lily Tarleton, Jasmine Davidson and Gabby Della, and then singles to Tara Harrington, Bella Ivarak, Georgia Hutton. And that's your 11. I reached the end without realising it. For Aspley, 2 goals to Rania Crozier and then 1 each to Maddie Kawa, Hannah Brennan, Jess Stallard, Rachel Vetter and Hannah Giles. 18 goals today. If you had to pay for this match, you'd be happy for it. Stevie Olorenshaw, your overall thoughts of the match and the 3-2-1s, please.
I think it was probably one of the better games I've seen thus far in my couple of years with the girls' teams. I mean, both teams came out strong. Probably in the first quarter, Aspley didn't probably show their full potential, but they came back firing in quarters 2, 3 and 4. Their positioning all round was amazing and it worked in their favour. Bond's ability to work the ball from one end to the other and their just ability to kick goals, it's phenomenal to see. And again, like you said, having girls come in and out, it's been very difficult for the team, but they were resilient and clearly united, which is really important for our team. And I think just overall phenomenal game of football. There was skills from both ends, beautiful goals. Could be goals of the season in there, marks of the season. Probably for me 3 points. You got to give it to Ava Rusher. She just killed it at every stoppage. She's always there. Second, third efforts, second to none. Probably coming in at 2. Tara Harrington, again, she's everywhere. Her ability to step players and just use the ball quickly and good decisions. And I have to give number 1. I mean, you could pick many players, and Aspley had heaps of good ones as well, but Kiara Bishart, just her back ability to get it in and out of the back confidently and with good composure. I mean, she's such a valuable asset to that back line, and I think if you had to give 3 votes, those would be the 3 for me.
Nothing wrong with picking 3 players from Bond, but who would you say was your best for Aspley today?
I would have to say
You think about. I'll give you a moment to think about that. I too went for Ava Rusher as best on ground. I thought she was incredible. Courtney Sexton, I thought, is the organiser in the middle. Nothing wrong with your choice in Tara Harrington. And because Emma Pittman had the most difficult job on the ground, I thought she just didn't stop trying all day and didn't. It's not just effort, her success as well. So my best on ground for Aspley was Emma Pittman, but Ava Rusher, we agree on who was best on ground.
Yeah, I'd say Pittman did really well. Pengelly did really well, and Crozier always around the ball. They were, again, their efforts, no matter the score, it was great to see. I mean, Aspley did well as a whole, but those 3 definitely stood out to me. And Giles as well. Great, phenomenal football.
Stevie Olorenshaw, it has been an absolute pleasure having you in the Combox today. Hope you've enjoyed yourself.
Thank you for having me. It was a blast.
My name's Daniel Vales. Thank you so much for your company today. We hope you've enjoyed the entertainment, the skill, the talent that is on show every week in the Bond University QAFLW. You're probably on the official AFLQ channel right now. Check out the other games, particularly the game between Bond University and Southport in round 11. It's on there. If you've got a boring work meeting during the week, go head to it. But there is always so much entertainment in the football coming out of Queensland. Thanks you for your company. Next week, 8 hours worth of Women's Aussie Rules here in Queensland. It's Pride Round, Exham Pride Round, all taking place at Giffen Park, Coorparoo, home of the Coorparoo Kings. But we will have live streaming and commentary for all 4 games from 10 a.m. right through till 6 p.m. Please join us then. Goodbye for now.